in his view as to what's wrong with the economy. Now, Reich had a very clever presentation, had a lot of quick animation going on, and basically his points were that rich people have gotten a lot richer since 1980 to the detriment of the lower income groups, and they use this increased wealth to bribe politicians to give them big, huge tax cuts. Therefore, the government was starved for revenue, ran up huge budget deficits because of that, had to cut vital social service spending, and basically the middle class now is up a creek because they don't have these important government services because rich people took all the money. And that's why now the middle class can't afford to spend enough money to keep the economy going. Now, if you think I'm setting up a caricature or straw man, I encourage you, please watch Reich's video and you'll see that's exactly what his theory was. So very quickly, I just want to put out a video to respond to these points and to sort of give an alternative explanation. Okay, so first of all, let's just set the record straight as to what the statistics are for government spending, receipts, and so forth since 1980. Now, I don't have the funding at my disposal that Robert Reich does, but I do have the ability to whip up some quick graphs. Okay, so here's the first one. This is from the Federal Reserve's website, and what this shows is the percentage of the GDP that federal tax receipts have been since 1960. So in his video, Reich claimed that we have right now tax receipts are the lowest share of the economy that they've been in 60 years, he said. And that is true. Okay, you can see down here, this low point here, this is bottomed out. And yeah, that going back, I mean, it actually did dip down roughly to this level back in the 1970s at some point, but we'll give Reich the benefit of the doubt and say, yeah, basically, right now, tax receipts as a share of GDP are at pretty low levels going back decades. But is it because Ronald Reagan cut tax rates on the super rich? Well, no. You can see in this chart that here's 1980. You could see that, okay, yeah, tax revenues came down, but that's because there was a bad recession. Then they went back up, came down again in the late 90s, and then during the 90s they went up. You could say, oh, it's because of Bill Clinton. Fair enough, what have you. Came way down because of the recession, started going back up, and then they plummeted under Barack Obama. Okay, so if you're going to say who's to blame for the fact that we have right now historically low tax receipts as a percentage of the economy, if you had to pick a president, you wouldn't blame it on Ronald Reagan, because look, during the 80s, they were comparable to where they were during the 70s. All right, so clearly, Reich gives you the idea that they started out up here and then there was a steady downward trend, and that's clearly not what's happening.